Hello. Before beginning today's topic, I'd like to share with you that you are a genius, you are special, you mean the world, and you are loved. Today's episode is To Not Think is to Best Think. This is a paradigm that exists and is very prominent throughout the world, and I like to discuss it. It's a paradigm that I myself once lived in, and I'll begin with it makes sense why the mind relates the information it does under that paradigm that we're constantly searching for a miracle, expecting a miracle, and that infinite feeling of self that it gives you, right? This all being, all creator sensation, feeling, thoughts. Well, let's look at the instrument that is giving those thoughts, right? Which is the brain. The brain facilitates the mind, which in essence really is something that is infinite. One can use the brain and imagine things that do not exist, that have not existed, and everything else. Everything that we see today first came from the mind, whether it was the telephone, the airplane, the assembly belt, and so much more. Now, under this paradigm, there's a little bit of conflicting information. For myself, it was very easy to accept this, and I fell victim to this paradigm very quickly for the reason that one day I wake up and realize that I have this infinite database. I have this tool that the only time I was even remotely walked to this was in school, elementary, being told to read silently. And also at home where I was told to think. To think. I've made a video discussing how we're always bombarded and told to think and never taught how to think. Now, interestingly enough, as an adult watching this, having your first awakening, isn't it so humorous that throughout our upbringing we're told to think and never taught exactly what is that mechanism, what is it like? So I wanted to demystify this and just tell you that this paradigm is a stepping stone. It is a stepping stone to the heart. The reason I say this is because one that lives truly from the heart is living a very similar experience and that it feels infinite. We know that paradigm of thinking but not thinking is a rather infinite state of being, is it not? It's self-created and it feels infinite. Well, living from the heart is very similar. Now, that's another topic for another day, but this paradigm is energetically very powerful. You can rest, you don't have any external thoughts. You feel yourself very at ease. Now, I want to switch sides and tell you how we should take our first awakening and what should be the result of it. Our first awakening is when we become conscious without any doubt that we have the ability to think. Now, for many, we relate words with thinking, but I want to tell you that thinking simply means a mental process. Now, inside the brain, we can use it to, yes, say words like the words are coming out of my mouth. If you're starting to crawl, I'll tell you this. The way to think is the most basic way to think is very similar to speaking. That is to say that you can think of the brain as your mouth. As I am opening my mouth and pushing out words, you can hear me, and I know that I'm consciously speaking. Your brain can be utilized very similar in that you can say a word inside your brain. All your brain, all of its power is squeezed, and you've said a word. Now we relate this very, very minimal, small activity of saying words and call this thinking. I don't want you to think that that's all the brain can do, okay? You can imagine. You can take yourself outside your body. You can view the pyramids of Giza, um, the Taj Mahal. You can go to Dubai, all with the power of your brain. And this is all called thinking. Anything that takes energy from the brain is thinking. So, to wrap this up, I want you to know that that paradigm is great and it should be used as a tool, right? We can't use one tool the same way always to do different things. No, let's look at a very simple tool, a hammer. Even that simple tool has two sides, right? We can hammer and we can pull. Well, let's look at the brain. I invite you to investigate your brain. What are all the avenues? Let me just list a couple. The lightning sensation that you can rate, the z super energetic sensation. There is the third eye, which that's the tool that allows you to go anywhere and see anything. We have the power to say words inside our brain, and we have the power to imagine. Those are just a couple. I invite you to go inside yourself, use your brain, find what you can do, what you can't do. And with this, I leave you with the fact that if you want things in your life, you can't show yourself that you're scared to a part of you. Whenever I was under that paradigm, whenever I was living in that paradigm, I was surrendering consciously to the idea that yes, I know that I can use my mind, my brain, to utilize my mind to then think, but I'm going to surrender that ability to the instrument and allow it to give me thoughts and ideas. So I challenge you to give yourself ideas and thoughts in lieu of creating the world, the universe that you want. Now, I'm not bashing the paradigm because we can't, if you're not using your heart, then there's no other way to be 100% conscious. So now, I tell you, think throughout your day, use your brain. It is a tool. Now, of course, we will come back to that state simply to rest, right? We can't always be thinking. We can't be 100% conscious using through the brain, but the heart does allow 100% consciousness. I hope this video has been beneficial. Um, I hope it's helped you kind of cipher and set apart all those dark webs and shed some light. Also, I invite you to comment below what are topics you'd like me to cover and share with me how is your journey? What is your favorite way to use your brain? And also share with me your journey. Are you involved in your heart space? Do you want more information about how to utilize your heart, how to be 100% conscious? That leads me to the next thing. I invite you to join my family. My family is built on individuals that are masters at living from the heart and are masters at teaching the art of living from the heart. With this membership also comes 2 meditations daily, a weekly meditation, and a monthly meditation. With that, I tell you and hope to see you. I hope to see you on the brighter side. Goodbye.